I would love to welcome you all. And also I would like to kind of set up some procedure for us to follow during, if I may. We have our panelists with us. I will introduce each before they start. Each of them will have around 10 minutes in order to provide the input that they've prepared for us. After that, we would have around half an hour of discussion, questions and answers. And I would love if each of you who has any comment or has any question for you to include it in the chat box, please, so that when the discussion time comes, I would read each and we will address each as we go. All during, please keep your mics muted because we're going to be recording this session, and this session will be uploaded to our YouTube channel in order to minimize the noise and to make it audible for everyone. During the session, our executive secretary will include all our social media accounts in the chat. So please like, follow, and make sure that you get the YouTube channel as well so that you can view this later or share it with your friends. So I would like to start now by welcoming our speakers, Lydia Goh, Sorin Caian, and Zhang Yanyan. They will be providing us with input on our subject, which is the consulting in CAIS. It's all about the current time. It's all about what will happen next. It's all about servicing our clients now and making sure that even though things are unclear, even though things are not heading where we expected them to go, but at least to mitigate, to support, in order to make sure that we all kind of pass what the COVID-19 is causing worldwide. Lydia, you would be our first speaker, my dear. Lydia is currently the managing director of Excelsia, used to be the human resource person in the consulting practice of Pricewaterhouse in Singapore. She has 30 years of experience in management consulting and in coaching. So please, Lydia, enrich our conversation, please, and share with us. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Rima. Can everyone hear me? Can all of you hear me? I just want to check.
Yes, my dear, we can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon. Thanks to ICMCI for having me. I am honored to have this opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Our world is now very different. COVID-19 has reshaped us on how we live, work, exercise, eat, shop, play, socialize, and manage our health. I don't have all the answers. What I wish to share today is purely from my personal experience during this period. All of us are unique. Different consultants have different styles, methodologies, and techniques. Different folks have different strokes. Rima, next slide, please. Disrupt yourself or be disrupted. Disrupting yourself is critical to avoid stagnation or being overtaken by consultants who are younger, smarter, and faster. I disrupted myself from a comfort to a discomfort zone. I need to rethink, reconceive, re-explore, repurpose to embrace change. Next, please. According to experts, the most overlooked economic engine is you. If you really want to move forward, you will need to innovate on the inside and disrupt yourself. Next, please. Storms. Storms will change the game as you know it. Storm will disrupt your patterns and habits that you were so comfortable and demand you to change, to learn, to grow. You either sink or swim, depending on how you receive it. Next, please. I tell myself during this period, I need to adapt and thrive mentally, emotionally, and physically. For mental wellness, self-care returns a sense of control over my own life. It gives me the integrative approach to mind and body. I stay healthy, resilient, exercise, and practice mindfulness meditation to recharge and refresh my mind, body, and spirit. Gratitude practices. Not yet. Sorry, I'm not done yet. Can we go? Yes, I'm not done yet. I'll tell you. Gratitude practice. I am very thankful for all my blessings. Research finds that the people who practice gratitude report a host of benefits: stronger immune system, higher levels of positive emotions, more joy, acting with generosity and compassion, create new routines. Studies have shown that planning and executing routines is the best recipe for good mental health. Kindness and compassion, showing empathy and compassion in all our interactions, online or offline. Supporting others, such as friends, the poor and the needy who are at risk, and the vulnerables. Keep a happy emotional state. Spread hope and donate to the less fortunate. Learning and growth. To keep raising my bar, I maximize my time during this period to learn, relearn, unlearn from world-class masters, thought leaders, business luminaries to grow mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. Okay, maybe next slide. Thank you. COVID-19 paralyzes business and solutions and societies worldwide. It's all about helping clients and finding calm in this chaos. So my approach is I would check on the clients on the physical, mental, and financial well-being, and do a high-level assessment on the impact of the organization, right? Positive, it means there's revenue growth through demand surge because a few are thriving, but many are suffering and struggling. So there are still people who are positive. This would be the e-commerce, the e-entertainment, and the delivery man or supermarkets. They thrive during this period. And mildly adverse would be revenue loss, 0 to 20%, maybe fast-moving consumer products. Acute revenue loss of 30 to 50%, like the oil and gas and related industry. Devastation, heavily impacted, revenue loss about 50%, tourism, hospitality, and airlines. Before I move further, I'd like to say something. As a consultant with a social heart, I look outwards and stand in solidarity with my clients. As most companies are struggling to stay alive and afloat, I have to sacrifice, put my personal interests aside, and provide pro bono services as a consultant and as a coach to let my client know how important they are to me by serving their interests first. I believe in investing my time in cultivating, strengthening, and deepening my relationship, helping the client to navigate through these trying times with them, listening with empathy, adding a human touch, and lending my knowledge and my skills. Next, please. Next slide, please. Another high-level touch that I will have a quick check with the client is what are their critical challenges, what are their pain points that they are experiencing now. So it could be cash, because cash is king. It could be cost, fixed cost, rental. Can they afford to pay their rental? Employees, can they afford to keep their staff, or do they need to retrench? There are many questions, but I would not go deep into now. Credit solutions for urgent cash needs and cash flow. Capacity. Is the client under or over capacity? Capability. If the client wants to go digital marketing, like most of the companies do, really in a hurry, do the employers have the necessary skills? There are many questions that I have to explore. All right, next please. What you got here won't get you there. This is a quote from Marshall Goldsmith, which is so true. What works yesterday will not work tomorrow. Next, please. Now, the client is really in a hurry. I have to think of immediate response quickly to help them. So I would really go for emotional support. It is important to provide clients the emotional support to ensure clients are looking after personal well-being and that of their employees. Empathetic and compassionate leadership. The health and well-being of the employees is number one priority. Leaders must honor employees with empathy and compassion, generously caring what about people and wanting what's best for them. I'm always impressed by Susie Osman, an American financial advisor. She said, people first, then money, then things, unquote. The more people feel cared for, the more they care and the more they will contribute. So leader must demonstrate trust, compassion, hope, and stability. Clear plan of action. Set up a crisis management team with clear roles, accountabilities, and objectives. Identify the mitigating strategies and minimizing the impact to business operations. Maintain business continuity. Communication is always key. It is imperative that the company communicate with employees, customers, suppliers, investors, stakeholders, and understand their perspective, what they need to feel safe and secure. So at the same time, the management team must continuously respond to the situation as it evolves to make sure the company maintain business continuity with employees working either in different shifts or in different sites. Finance and liquidity. Develop an approach to help the client understand the minimum cash and liquidity requirements. Identify key cash flows and take rapid actions around working capital and worst case scenario. Game plan for customer retention. Find new ways of customer engagement forge critical customer relationship, and helping customers to overcome the challenge will be beneficial to the company as well. Strengthen digital capabilities. Review the information technology structures to ensure the network connections are secure and mitigate the data protection risks associated with mobile application, as well as able to support remote working, because a lot of people are working from home, and remote customer needs too. Engage supply chain. Understand supply risks and impacts. Identify the company's key direct suppliers and their ability to meet requirements and potential risks. Activate alternate sources of supply. Last but not least, for instance, you may have, in your country, you may have government physical support. In Singapore, of course, it varies from country to country. In Singapore, we have three budgets: unity, resilience, unity, and solidarity budgets amounting to over 60 million right across the board, very broad-based schemes to cushion the impact for customers, for companies, for the poor, for the vulnerables, and for the disadvantaged. Next, please. Now, I feel very strongly, and I support John Dewey, that we always learn from reflection, not just for experience. We need to reflect and meditate a lot, especially during this period. Next, please. Now, the road to stability, I'm just giving you a very, very high level sort of blocks. Immediate defenses, which I have done. Then we have to think of mid-term elevation. Now, mid-term, even in immediate defenses, digital seems to be a clear winner so far that I've noticed, and COVID-19 has proven to be a driver of technology adoption. So in midterm, protect your revenue, implement cash preservation measures, stabilize operation and supply chain, and also upgrade your tech platforms and tech tools. Next one, reimagination. Not yet. Reimagination. The future is not what it's going to be. So we need to reimagine, recreate, and maybe even do an about turn. And then you have to think, okay, you're going to a new business model, because honestly, the new model shifts will happen many fronts. Shift in human behavior, shift in this industry dynamics, supply chain disruption, and also in technology. So you have a new model, you go digital, you have to accelerate reskilling and upskilling of the competencies of your employees. Otherwise, they don't know how to go about it. So you have to reframe and shift your perspective, in short. Next, please. Here we are saying, according to Chinese, I have my Chinese colleague here who can confirm, the Chinese use two brushes to write the word crisis. One brush stands for danger, the other for opportunity. In this crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. There's really a great window of opportunities if you really spot them. Next, please. Now, I am a believer of Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm always very inspired by this. He says, faith is taking the first step when you don't see even the whole staircase, which I think is very true, because we must be brave and courageous to step into a new area. That's all I have, the time given. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you for the insights. And yes, I believe we should look for the opportunity. With this, I would like to welcome our next speaker, who's Zhang Yanyan, Director of the China Enterprise Confederation, Secretary General of the Management Consulting and Training Committee. She's a researcher, a writer, and has joined many national projects with regards to providing consulting to large enterprises as well as small and micro. Yanyan, the mic is yours, my dear. You have 10 minutes and please do share with us.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, my dear, you're loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rima. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All my colleagues of ICMCI and the delegates from international consulting firms. This is Zhang Yanyan from China Enterprise Confederation. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to exchange views and share something to you all, especially to learn more information from you. Next, please. Yes, this picture is right. As all Chinese people walked into hopeful new year, the coronavirus came and stopped everything. Now, virus swept the world. People died. Economic stagnation. Enterprises, especially SMEs, experienced disaster. Today, I would like to share some views. Next, please. Dear Rima, next. Next, please. Yes. First, number one, what are the management consultants doing? What is the role? Next, please. First, management consulting. Yes. After tight defense, it is noted that the development of economic is most important. Therefore, in February, the government commissioned CEC to investigate the resumption on large enterprises covered all sectors. At the same time, we surveyed all members of the Management Consulting Committee to learn the situation and encourage the firms for providing support to SMEs. Next, please. Next, yes. Shanghai Junzhi Consulting Company is the silver prize winner of Constantinos last year. They have not only set up a special expert team providing online guidance to the customers, but also suggested one of their clients, Boston Down Jacket, to launch a Warming the World campaign. During the outbreak, the client donated 300 million RMB worth of down jackets to the medical staffs and the health workers. In the meantime, Junzhi adjusted short-term strategy in the market strategy for Boston. Next, please. Next, please, Rima. So far, more and more consulting firms have turned to a new model that online services associated with the on-the-spot consulting have been launched successfully. Meanwhile, at all levels, government push out a package of economic incentive in the preferential policies. Many consulting firms help their clients apply these policies. Next, please. How about the training industry? During the outbreak, for attracting new customers, a large number of free online training videos as a welfare has been offered. The outbreak has taken a toll of the training industry. Some firms have broken, but some become very smart. Next, please. Next. Huashi Shenzhen is a training in a consulting firm. The boss is a young man. He doesn't throw in the towel. He developed his own teaching platform. Let the teacher do the network broadcast for free. At the same time, they rent cloud storage and put a large number of courses on the cloud. Students can watch the free courses through the teaching platform and then receive other courses publicity. The course is very cheap, about $15 an hour. They broadcast online 141 times, and there are more than 180 courses in the platform. Over 30 million people have viewed. Just a few days ago, CEC and the Guangdong Consulting Association have cooperated to organize the first session of CMC streaming training course. Now, our industry is returned to work in China. Most of the consulting firms need their clients again. Some training firms restart their training projects face to face. Next, please. Number 2, think about the future of management consulting. 2nd April, my colleagues and I organized a webcast activity titled The Digital Future of the Enterprise. Within 2 hours, more than 4 million people watched it. And we will have the second activity in 12th May. The topic is industrial chain. I know it is a good title and it will be successful. All of this make me wondering, what is the future of management consulting in the training industry? Next, please. Firstly, no, it's up, not this. Firstly, offline trends to online. In this spring, a funny thing happened in China. Look at the picture in the front of Dingding platform, a unit of Alibaba Group, is the largest online office platform in China. It had over 100 million users, 5 stars on App Store. In February, they announced to offer free online classroom, and some schools organized online classes. The outbreak made hundreds of millions of students to sign up for Dingding. You know, it was Chinese New Year in the winter vacation for students. The kids were not happy because they didn't want to study. So they graded Dingding 1 star on App Store. Dingding became a 1-star app just in few days. Finally, the Ministry of National Education announced that online classes should not be started during vacation. But now, most students study online. So we can see the online education will be more and more. On one hand, online education technologies are mature. On the other hand, the cost is cheaper. Reduce the rental of classrooms, the staff cost. The results can be expected. Digital trends is both a chance and a challenge. Some front-end work of management consulting activities are also be transferred online, which brings new challenges to the firms. First is how to master the application of digital technology. And the second is how to put forward new requirements for the company's human resource structure. Next, please. Secondly, enterprise will go to this way: equipment digitization, production line digitization, in the workshops, factory, enterprise digitization, then industry chain digitization, finally, digital ecology. How do we make it? Business digitization is an important feature of a new business model. That means online and offline. New transaction scenario, like no contact. New business civilization means more cooperation between firms and the clients. My point is, through the efforts of people all over the world, the epidemic will pass and we will return to our original lives. But impact on the economic activity is profound. And the management consulting and the training industry need to embrace the digital future. Next, please. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Yanyan. So digitalization is the answer, and maybe us trying to move our business from being in so many times face-to-face to being virtual, to being with our clients, yet maintaining the social distancing. Make sure that we stay with the clients, show them that we're there, and maybe they'll get back to us. Thank you, Yanyan. And now I would like to introduce the next speaker, who is Sorin Caian. He's a senior partner with BDO Romania, the coordinating partner of Business Advisory Department. He's all into finance, restructuring, and institutional strengthening. So I believe his message would be also with good insights. I would like to also note that he's the immediate past chair of ICMCI. Sorin, the mic is yours, my dear.
Thank you, Rima. I want to say hello to everybody. I know some of you, I don't know the others, but I'm so happy that I can share some of my insights, which I will try to be as practical as possible, since the two nice ladies that presented before me gave a very wide image of the problem. I would like to go back to life, real life, what I have learned in the last few months since we entered into this. I don't know if it's chaotic or crisis, but it's something that we have to face. How we have entered into it. We were not so well prepared, but there are some track records that we could use. First of all, there are some learnings from the 2008-2009 crisis. Good thing, I'm referring mainly to my team, which is quite a large team, and to my personal experience, without trying to give answers for everybody. I hope that the examples that I'm going to give to you are going to be helpful. And I'm pretty sure that they are applicable all over the place. So Rima hasn't mentioned, but my work experience is not only in Europe or in Romania, it's also in Central Asia. And I have worked nearly in any country from Mongolia till Armenia. So I should understand a little bit about the Asian European way of thinking. Anyway, so most of my senior people of today were part of the gang also at that time in 2008, 2009. One was not easy at all. We have started some years ago part-time of the work to be from home. So we had, theoretically, we had some experience. Next one, Rima, please. But when it started, the first actions were linked to secure our people, which are actually the assets that our industry has. The main asset that our industry has is the consultant, are the people. Technology was already there and people were using it, but still a mental barrier. So they said, we have to see each other and talk directly when we decide things and so on. What we have learned is that we have to have clearly an improved constant internal communication. You have to keep all the people on the same level of understanding of knowledge about what's going on. They need to see that there is a way and we are following the way. Of course, the first thing that we have done was a stress test on our organization. We've been lucky with the results. And it's, Lydia mentioned, it's cash is king, so you have to keep them. You have to pay them, and do you have, which is I think the most important, to give them work to be done, which is not easy at all, as you know very well. But again, being a large organization, we have some resources, not in terms of cash, but in terms of sharing knowledge among cross-disciplinary entities, and you can sell and you can give and you can offer to the stakeholders, the outsiders, you can offer a lot of things. Anyway, how we have started to navigate. Rima, the next one. First of all, we should understand the impact live and put resources together to react, as I've told you. It's not only about finance, it's not only about restructuring, not interim management, not whatever else. It's not about legal tax or other human resources or IT. It's about the overall picture. And it's obvious, I'm talking from my own experience, I still have the feeling that the reaction in terms of economical impact is much higher than the action, which is the real, with all respect for the medical problems, and we have to live with it. The next thing is to think about the clients. Actually, it's a matter of surviving not only for them, and for us, is just to keep the market alive. And suddenly we thought maybe it's not possible. That was a question. So how we are going to make it? Because it was a lot of uncertainty. Also today it's a lot of uncertainty. But this was the main idea, is to keep the market alive, the economy alive, actually, because we are talking about all sides and all the other things. Okay. Next one, please. It's obvious that there are few new directions which are appeared on the screen, and we have followed them very carefully. First is deliver flow of information to our clients, nearly live. So the government is taking decision, the things are happening, the patterns are showing. We are going to share with everybody, free of charge, of course. Should be accurate and should be a little bit explained. Not like, okay, you are going to say it's an exercise of influencing. It's to keep their hope there. The next thing we have started from the very beginning is to design new products, including free advice or highly discounted. I know people tend to don't value what they are not paying for, but now it's totally different. And what is really very, very important is to keep close to our clients, discussing what's behind it, is to understand how the economy works. Because just looking at a limited number of cases, you don't understand too much. And of course, you have to reinvent yourself. This is the big advantage of our profession, management consultants, because we have been always on the edge of change. We were driving the change. Now we are also changed by what's going on. So we have to understand what's going on, and we have to learn how we can help. And of course, this was a forced digitalization. I enjoyed that very much. Our fiscal authorities were forced to digitalize, otherwise they couldn't get any money. And this is a thing that happened in a couple of months, much more than in 20 years of attempts. But what's very important is to keep following the evolutions in all aspects and understand, not necessarily guessing where we are going, but understand the actual trends. You cannot judge today a business after the last balance sheet results. You cannot do that, simply. Next one. So how it goes? How it goes, I'm not saying that I'm optimistic or pessimistic or I'm afraid. I'm just watching what's going on. with the experience of a person that have seen some other crises. My country was very good to me and offered all the crises that I could live. Economical, I had hyperinflationary environment, huge unemployment, huge increases in GDP. Then we have real estate crisis and drop of GDP very high and things like this. Now we have this. So it's difficult times, but it's something that we have lived somehow, not very close. What's very important is keep communicating with all, employees, clients, professional associations, whomever you can get something and offer something in the same time. And what's, as I said, very, very important is following the evolutions in real time and adapt immediately. That's a major change. We have to change our way of thinking. The next one, Rima, thank you. You have to share experience inside the company, inside the department, and also openly discuss with other consultants, even if they are competitors. The market should survive for all of us, and we should survive together with the market. And only in this way, we have a chance to be successful. As I always said, we have this is in the next slide, but I'm going to say it now. We are not a necessary evil. We have to prove added value, otherwise the clients are not going to ask us. So we have to work more, offer more, give support even for free, be the first to adapt, and do not panic. The story with do not panic is not easy if the stress test is not good. So you have to see how you are going to handle it. The next one, please. So as I'm saying, nobody knows for sure how the future will look. It's going to be a change. Some people are hoping that the change will be just temporary, they come back to the previous things. I'm just thinking about the unicorns and the growth like hell in very short time. And this connection between the value of the businesses and the economic results of them, which I think it was a problem of the past, but we will see how it works. So the goal for today is to preserve the resources, minimize the damages, and create trust for the new future. And I said we have to prove added value, otherwise nobody is going to hire us. And the last one, Rima, the last one, keeping the clients alive and help them reshaping is the statement of the day. This is the next step where we are entering. So let's keep alive as many of them and then help to navigate through the water, stormy water, in the next future. For sure, the effort will return. So I think that today we shouldn't think about fees, we should think about results in terms of economic output. But we still, I think that's the most important statement of that we have to stay in the ethical frame. And this is actually something which is not, it's easy to say when you don't have a surviving problem, but it's more difficult in that situation. Anyway, I'm sure that if we follow this, life is going to return us. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sorin. I believe all of you kind of stressed on the fact that we need to stay in contact with our clients, with our stakeholders. We need to adapt quick and help our stakeholders adapt as well. We need to listen and understand. We need to provide pro bono work, like Lydia said. We need to move to digitalization, like Yanyan said, and through it all, we need to keep our ethics. So thank you all, our speakers. That was very insightful. We have a few minutes left for the questions and answers. So I'm going to start going through the chat. Many expressed their thank yous as well. It wasn't just me. It starts with thanking Lydia, thanking Yanyan for all the insights that they provided. We have questions. there's an agreement from PKLM actually about the digitalization, that it is the answer, and that consultants need to provide training online and attract more people, attract attendees, and make sure that it is beneficial to them, yet it would be more cost effective for the consultants, which is true, considering that maybe most of what we would be offering is pro bono. So cost would be less, and that would be good. And questions. Many of you just left comments, which is beautiful. Thank you. We would be using some of those in our kind of use them as quotes in our press releases and such. So thank you for providing us with many. There's a question to Yanyan. And it goes as follows, Yanyan. How do you see CMCs embark on online training for Chinese market, and how to enter the Chinese market effectively? Yanyan?
Yes, I see. Thank you. And it's a good question. My colleague Julio is here. He did many courses, CMC courses. So I would like invited Julio to answer this question. Hi, Julio.
Hello, Julio. Please go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share with us.
I'm taking charge of the training department, so let me answer these questions. Actually, I have already issued a workshop online CMC certification workshop past a few days ago. So I think in this period, the students or the audience can understand the situation these days. We can invite the speakers, the teachers, to give the lecture through the online to our participants. I'm not very clear what means embark. What that mean? To issue the online studying is not easy, or what's mean? Mr. PK, I see the questions from him.
It is, and please do continue, Julio, because all speakers are muted, so all attendees are muted. So please, yes, since he asked the question, definitely it would be a challenge, but people would need to adapt, right? That's what we were talking about. We need to adapt and guide others to adapt as well.
Yes, we are trying many methods to let the audience to understand or meaning or or vision and something else. You know, these days we are collecting more than 60 courses from our members, and maybe a few days later I can put all we can all upload all the courses on the website.
And they would be available to others as well?
Yes.
Good.
It's
so,
no profit.
Mm-hmm.
It's for
Definitely.
CMCs and other members of CEC.
Thank you, Julio. And I believe we have many notes as well from ICMCI Armenia, where they did too many courses as well and provided them also for free to their members in order to assure that everyone is kept updated. Thank you, Julio, and thank you, Yanyan. There's another question from Shinliat, and he's asking the panelists the following. First, he thanked you all, and then he says the New York Governor Andrew Cuomo referred to McKinsey forecast to COVID-19 cases some weeks ago. I have not seen other government leaders or politicians citing management consultants' work in the crisis. Do you panelists feel management consultants, especially CMCs and ICMCI could have more communication with the government in helping them going through the crisis. Thank you, Shinliyat. I would like to maybe say something on behalf of ICMCI on this, and then give it to the panelists. What we've been trying to do is make sure that we stay in touch with the different stakeholders internationally in order to be kind of offering any support that could be needed. Now, with regards to governments specifically, nationally, I would leave that to the panelists. Lydia, would you like to go first?
Okay, certainly. Thank you, Shinle. That was an excellent question. Well, in Singapore, I think we are quite fortunate because our government has a lot of, I would say, funding for consultants, helping all the small, medium enterprise. You can go into digitization, you can go into productivity, anything that you like, it can be funded up to 70% for the client, which is very, very attractive. So our government is very, very proactive. So I see there is a future for consultants because all the SME needs help. But maybe from my personal experience, you can't go out there and start charging the client because they're all suffering, they don't have cash, they are putting from one pocket to another pocket. So what you can do is, this is an excellent time to give back to society, to help them in their time of need and distress. And I can tell you, they will remember you when things turn around. So you need to invest your time. And I think it's really a noble action if we invest, help clients now without unconditionally, without any rewards expectation. It will come, but you need to plant your seeds before you can see flowers. Okay?
Thank you, Lydia. Would anyone else, Sorin, would you like to give some insights as well to this question?
Yes,
Provide any
I
input,
think
please?
that the governments, I'm judging the European governments and most probably the US. The governments are very clever, so they don't need to ask us how to do, and they are very busy with a lot of decisions to be taken. In reality, there is a lack of strategic thinking at the level of the government, and I think that the management consultants should organize themselves and bring some materials on the table. McKinsey did something very simple and what they are doing. So they made a study, and it's most probably the most well-known study in the last 2 months. But in reality, I think it's our job as management consultants, most probably the professional association should drive that in order to put us together and try to offer to the government some alternatives. If they are following or not, it's a matter of politicians. But in reality, we have to do something in this respect.
Thank you, Sorin. There's a question there from Jad Dagger asking us, any tips on how to approach new clients during this period? I don't know, Sorin, if you want to address that as well.
Yeah, the very interesting thing is that we still have new contracts. Not as many as in 2019, but the number of new contracts showing up in the last couple of months, it's not critical. It's quite okay. What we have done is exactly what I said. We have revisited all our former clients. So we took the database of clients since 2009. We found the people that work for those people, if they are still in the company. In many cases they are. And we just call them to see what's going on. And we have a long list of services which are adapted to what's happening, because we learn from the others which are in deep problems, and we are trying to offer them something. And of course, we are explaining that this is, part of it is for free and part of it is highly discounted, in order to help them to go together. So it's a lot of communication. It's not about preparing long proposals, but having discussions and put some bullet points, what we can do together. And what I have learned is that the small and medium-sized enterprises, they are not good at all at managing their cash position. And there is something that you can offer immediately. While the large companies, they have another problem because they are following the rules of the mother company, and the mother company has some bigger rules. In some cases, those are not adaptable to the local conditions of the economy, and can be a failure. We are still looking at how it's going to work there. Anyway, since the economy is restarting, we expect to have more and more problems and more positions. Another story that we have learned, it's a good thing, is to offer interim managing positions, because they don't have the money, or they don't have and they have the needs, and they don't want to hire a crisis manager for the whole life. They need somebody for a short period. So there are some others, but communicating with them will teach you which is the way.
So again, it's about listening and understanding. Thank you, Sorin. There's a question to you, Lydia, and it goes as follows. What's your definition for the new normal?
Oh, the new normal is basically, well, I don't think anybody knows the answer. The new model would be something, it will vary according from industry to industry, but the new normal, actually, there will be a lot of shifts on all fronts. The consumer taste will be changed, the industry sector will be changed. So you have to devise a strategy that is appropriate for your industry. As I said, some industry are thriving, and they will want to know, how do I continue to thrive? But of course, those are few. Most industry are suffering, and some even dying, you know. So they have to, but come back to digitalization. This seems to be the key, to be the driver. Technology adoption is suddenly exponential, you know, because of COVID-19. It's really exponential. Everybody is rushing into it because that's the only way you can reach to the customers. So the new norm, to answer the question, consists of many multi-pronged approach, as well as you don't just look at your business model, you also have to look at your capabilities. Are your employers, what are their competencies? Do they have any gaps? You may have a beautiful strategy that you want to go that direction, but if your employees don't have the skills to align to your strategies, how are they going to deliver what you desire? So honestly, it must be communicated. The model will vary from industry to industry, and it must cascade down, shared with all the employees, but must make your employees happy, of course. I always believe in that. A happy employer is a happy customer. So make all your employees happy so that they are with you and for the company. So honestly, it's very difficult to say what is the ideal model. It depends on your organization, and also depends on how deep your pockets are, you know, and whether the banks are willing to lend you at this time, because all the banks are so cautious, you know, so you really have to manage that. Unless you can seek for new funds from angel or start something, a new startup that nobody has thought of, then maybe you can go for crowdfunding, you know, things like that. So there's lots of opportunities I see, but depends on how you position yourself.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank
Yeah.
you, my dear. We have 2 questions, and we're going to address those, and then, because we're only 2 minutes away from the time. Question number 1 for the panelists, and you tell me who would like to answer this, is from Konstantinos. Hi, Konstantinos. The question is, do you think recovery will follow a V-shape, U-shape, or W-shape?
Okay, I'll take the question.
Okay.
Hello, Konstantinos. Well, again, it varies from country to country. Like, look at Singapore. Unfortunately, we're exploding with COVID-19, unfortunately, because we have 300,000 migrant workers here. So it's exploding. So some people will need at a faster rate, some people is slower. They were concerned that it will be a W shape because now everybody's relaxing. what if there's a second wave? Of course, the dream will be a V shape. But I think if you get an L shape, it's also comforting that you can slowly progress to bring up the curve up. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Lydia. The other question, the last question, is what new skills and techniques do you think a great management consultant should get in these new times? Soren, would you like to give that a shot?
It is not a wonder solution. So I think that the management consultant should have three skills that should be native. It's with this communication skills, this innovation, the willingness to learn new things, and third, we need some influencing. The tools, we were always on the edge of change. The technology is just a tool, as you said, and we have to understand what's new and to be able to put them together and teach our clients how to use those benefits. And this is something that the Chinese are great on doing that, and also the Asian are great, on doing that. And I think that this is something that we have to learn, how we are going to be more efficient. But I still think that we shouldn't get into that mistake that there is no link between what you are doing and the value of what you are doing and the economic value of it. So the two should be somehow connected. So we have, especially the Western nations, we have separated that, and we have wonders which are exploding and making a lot of money without having a solid base. Now we see the sandcastle falling. So you have to take care of that. So ethics and professionalism are the tools, are the ingredients. The tools are what's new on the market. Based on our internal skills, we should be able to communicate, we should be able to influence, and willing to take everything new on board, understand, judge, and use. That's it.
Thank you, Soren. And there's a note from PK to you and Lydia, but I would like to answer that. And it says, shouldn't local IMC leadership offer our pro bono consulting services to companies in respective countries and promote our services to the government and the company bosses? And I would like to say, yes, PK, this is the role of the IMCs. This is what they should be doing now, supporting you, their members, in order for you to support the clients, and that would be a two-way gain. So I would like to answer that and say yes. We're past the time, we're 2 minutes past the time. We would like to kind of conclude on all of this. I would like to say thank you again to all our speakers, but I would also like to thank you, our attendees, our participants, for being there, for listening, and for having the passion to learn during those times in order to support all our stakeholders, not just clients, support ourselves, support the government, support our countries, in order to make sure that we all pass this crisis, pass these hard times, and make sure that we prevail all during. Thank you very much. And I would like to ask all of you, please, if you may, put on your cameras. We need to take a screenshot in order to post that on our social media, and we would love to see everyone's face in there. Please do put on your camera and put on a smile as well. Okay? Thank you very much. I know that Khuzaima is taking those screenshots, helping us out, and you would see it all on our social media. Again, we already included all the accounts. Please like, be there, be active, post, and support your colleagues as well as supporting your clients with ideas and insights. Thank you, everyone. I believe it was a good session. You will be able to view it on the YouTube. If you have any questions after, if there were any questions that we didn't address, do send them to us. You have our contact details, and you have a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, and always remember that ICMCI is there to support you. Bless you all. Thank you and bye-bye.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Happy Thursday.
Thank you, Lydia. Bye-bye, everyone.